Yes, Social Club, Ped's here, Ste is here as well. Before we delve into basically giving loads and loads of praise to Manchester City, let's hear how a Steam company reacted to Man City winning their third title in 7 years.
Manchester City have won the league and we absolutely deserved it. We did it in the most typical City way possible, watching United lose 1-0 to West Brom, but I wouldn't kind of change that for the world. Well, I did want it to be at home next week against Swansea, but watching United lose to the team 20th in the Premier League, well, there's something brilliantly Manchester City about that. And after last week, watching them trying to steal our glory away to actually then lose that way. Oh, well, it is beautiful. In general, we've deserved it this season. I don't think anyone would argue that we haven't been the best team in the league by a country mile this year. We've in my opinion, reinvented how football can be played over in England. The football, the precise technical nature, the build-up play, the well-drilled organisation of Guardiola's teams. It's absolutely magnificent to watch and it's already having effect on English football in my personal opinion. And they said it couldn't be done over here. That style of play wouldn't work. Well, it has, and we deserved it. Yeah, we spent a lot of money, of course we have, but we've invested wisely and intelligently in how we play. And the players we bought fit this ethos. They're all young as well. I remember watching us be absolutely terrible with Paul Dickov and Sean Goat and all that lot when I was younger. Now this is just worlds apart. I love that era, but this one, De Bruyne, Aguero, Silva at their peak, it's absolutely special and it feels incredible. Come on, City.
From the outside looking in, I thought it was a bit of an anticlimactic way to do it, but then again, I was 7 the last time Liverpool won a league title, so what the fuck do I know?
Take it any way it comes, don't you, when you win a title.
Yeah.
I remember when United won the first one that I saw us winning, 1993, it came up on teletext. I think it was the Villa result.
Were you looking for a holiday?
I was playing Bamboozle. The result of Oldham Villa and United was champions. And I remember going running around in the street and stuff.
3-3, I think.
They obviously would have liked to have beaten us to do it last weekend. I'm glad we stopped that because the muppetry would have been on 100. I imagine they'd have come right across the pitch to United and they'll never let us forget it, would they?
Is there a problem with that?
No, but I don't want it.
No, right, okay, that's absolutely fine.
I'm sure they want it. I don't want it, so I'm happy we stopped doing it. It was inevitable, let's be honest.
Is there something to the fact that Man United tried to spoil the party last week and did, to their credit, only for them to then lose to West Brom and hand it to them anyway?
Something very Everton about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a terrible performance from Man United. Terrible. I think. It was weird, you were quite confident, I think, going into the game.
Yeah, they're going down. There's not. If you played this match 100 times, United would win it 101. That's how bad they are.
They're basically relegated. Yeah. They've won 3 matches now. People can moan about Mourinho all they like, but that starting 11, if you put a dead dog and a fat baby in it, is still good enough to beat West Brom.
Yeah, but I had a Ferrari and I put a lawnmower engine in it, like, you know what I mean?
Still a Ferrari.
No, it is still a Ferrari, but don't expect it to win any races.
I think the people you've got to really feel sorry for...
Nailed that analogy, by the way.
Yeah, keep going. I think the people you've got to feel really sorry for is the Man City media team. I mean, they were stuck with Winston Company in his missus's nans.
Come on! Yeah!
Surrounded by just normal people, and it just didn't have the same feel to it.
What a prick with his normal people.
Like letting normal people around his nans. What a dick.
They didn't need everyone there to celebrate though, Ped, because did you not see them? They were all celebrating by clapping their hands. The fucking worst thing I've seen in my entire life.
It is.
What's funny is that they, at some point, have paid people to be fans as extras, which is hilarious.
You telling me they weren't real fans?
There was more people in that video than there was actually turn up for the actual celebrations.
Champion!
They all came in the same taxi. Saving money though, and good for the environment.
A couple of girls skipping the way
the Etihad.
Fantastic.
You know, it's a quick way of getting around.
You can't really, have a real stern face and skip, can you?
No, it's not.
That's terrifying. Seeing someone.
You don't skip into a brawl.
Someone pouting and skipping at the same time.
Do you think though, if you won the league, I want it to be like mass.
No, but that's the problem with it. It was anticlimactic. There was no one was prepared for it. And everyone's gone. What do we do? Should we go to ground?
I'd be ready. I'd be sitting there for weeks.
I went into Piccadilly last night after the game, and there was like nobody out. It was weird. I was like, I had my United bag with me as well. I'm going to get some shit here today.
You honestly thought the bag was going to get you the shit?
So we are going to talk about Man City and how good they are in a minute, by the way. But the two videos that came out were the perfect example of having too much time to prepare and not enough time to prepare. Like, you know, it was they've known they're winning the title for ages, so they've gone and shot this elaborate video.
So I suppose that's what happens though when you don't win it in front of your own fans and you don't have those actual pictures to show.
Yeah.
You've got to come up with shite.
They are ultimately, though, deserving champions, Ped.
They're a very good football team.
Ridiculously good football
They're a
team.
good
Let's be
they're not ridiculously good. If they were ridiculously good, they would have got third in the Champions League. Tits. You know, I didn't expect them to go to Wembley and win the way they did on Saturday. They coped with it and got through the game and won it quite convincingly. They've done that. They've done that in most places this season.
Come on, mate. You've got to be able to hand some credit out to them.
They've been absolutely mint this season. But I think what you've got to look at is you've got to look at the standard of the league. You look at the teams at the bottom. The points the teams at the bottom have got is lower than most teams at the bottom.
Well, you've tried your best, mate.
Hold on. And United are second.
Yeah,
And United are terrible.
Yeah.
If you use the second place team as your benchmark, you know, it's not quite on the level of Scottish football. When you have Celtic just absolutely dominating
I love the
what's
fact
going
that
on.
you've been prepared to call your own team shit.
Well, if we
to
just
take
go off,
City down a peg.
if we go off the media perception, United are getting panned left, right, and centre. But the fact is, we're second.
No.
And we've beaten all the rest of the top six, including this City team. So you can't tell me that this City team is the greatest team ever the Premier League has seen, which I've seen this season.
Do you have to win it next season in the same style to prove that they are a really... You've got to win it back to back.
In the same style.
But I'm
So
not.
they
I
beat-
don't
no,
want to take anything away.
no,
They
stop.
are completely.
Stop.
You can only beat what's put in front of you, and they've done that.
Bear in mind, they're on track to break the points record for the
doesn't matter.
season. They're going to break Chelsea. They're likely to break Chelsea's 95 point
matter.
record. No, but it does, because to win it in the same style implies that they're going to have to get another 100-point season next season, which is total bollocks.
To be seen as one of the best Premier League teams ever, yes, they fucking will.
Horseshit.
No,
If
it's
you just
not
win two-
horseshit at
it
all. Like Steve just said, he's got a valid point, even though he went round the houses to deliver it. If they've won it this season because other teams are shite, then they can't be seen as one of the
I
best.
don't think they've won it this year. I think it's bollocks. I think you've had to convince yourself of that. United aren't shit, and Liverpool aren't shit, and Spurs aren't shit. In any normal season...
We just got beat at home to bottom of the league.
Oh, hang on. That's 4 teams. The Premier League is garbage. Honestly, testament to that. I've witnessed some of the worst football in my life.
The
this
point
season
I'm
watching
trying
Everton,
to make-
and we are still in the top half.
The point I'm trying to make, I agree. I think anything from 6 downwards is
Therefore, it's
dross.
shit.
No, but I'm talking
Arsenal
about
are 2 points ahead of Burnley.
from 6 inclusive downwards.
You just don't want to think that Liverpool are
No,
not as good as you think they are.
no, it's not even that. What I'm saying is City have been head and shoulders better than...
Better than shit.
And I think, no, shut up, you tits.
They're better than shit. That's
Horse
it.
manure.
Yeah.
Rabble.
Right, let me throw this at you.
No, the point is that any normal season, the seasons that Man United, Spurs and Liverpool are having would have been enough to at least make it a close title challenge. City have been so good that they are the 16 points ahead of second place because they have been a gear up.
Because they've been the tallest midgets. Not just the tallest midgets. They're
Are
absolutely
you allowed to
mint.
say midgets?
Yeah.
Has it not been changed to something
tallest,
else?
smallest person.
I take nothing away from Man City. I think they're absolutely fantastic. But to be...
You're both sat here trying to take stuff away.
No,
from
I'm
Man
not.
City.
What I've
You are.
just said is, for them to... You're trying to make them look boss because you beat them and you want to stand on their shoulders and say you're giants.
Anyway, the best team in living memory. You can't say that.
Recent memory.
Recent memory. So what's recent memory?
The closest team in recent memory is Man United 2008.
That was a team that won 3 titles on a bounce and the Champions League and got to 2 other Champions
Was that
League
the
finals.
last? Was that your last title? I can't remember. No, it was 2010.
That was 2013
2013. Okay, cool. That's fine.
in colour. We won 3 on the bounce.
It's 4-3.
We was in 3 Champions League finals and we won a Champions League final at a time that English football dominated European football. So from 2005, we had you lot. 2006, we had Arsenal in a final. 2007, you was in a final. 2008, 2 English teams in a final. So we was winning the Premier League when the Premier League was beating most of Europe. Okay. Now that's not happening this season, is it?
Clearly.
We were seeing semi-finalists, 2-3 semi-finalists from England around that time, and United dominated that, won 3 on the bounce, and was European champions.
You're trying to say the standard of English football was higher then?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. We're doing a very bad job of picking up Man City here. Kevin De Bruyne, Ped, you can't get away from it. Probably the best footballer that the Premier League's seen this season. He's been amazing. I think he's played in every Premier League game for them in one way, shape or form this season. For a player of that quality as well, you thought they'd have tried to wrap him up, but he's been integral to what they've done.
Well, he's been integral, so therefore you can't. Probably fitness-wise, he's probably,
in his peak, football-wise. I don't think he is in his peak. The other thing I like about him as well is I've seen a lot of teams try and kick him out of games, and he just gets on with it, rides the tackles, gets on with it. And he's just a brilliant footballer, but he's used so well in this team. And some managers would just be like tempted who haven't got the thought process of Pep Guardiola to just go, I don't know what to do with you, I'll just stick you on the wing. Yeah. Because that's the mentality of a lot of sort of English managers, or when you've seen Paul Scholes in the national team and things like that, you don't know what to do with them. They've put him front and centre and said, you're going to run our team. You're going to run our team.
Well, him and Silva, for most
teams would not play both of them.
4-3-3. You don't play them as your pair of your eights.
No.
But the way they play football, it's absolutely perfect, and it's worked for them. It'd be like United playing Matter and Lingard or Matter and Pogba.
If you'd said
we wouldn't do it.
2 seasons ago, the Fernandinho would be the guy
I love him.
holding it all together.
I love him.
We're going to leave him alone to basically run the midfield. You'd be like, what are you on? I saw Man City fans going into the season going, we need a proper DM. Why are we leaving it to Fernandinho? But you're right, the balance is crazy. To be able to commit that many people to attack when you consider the fullbacks do a lot of work as well.
It's the trust factor as well with them. It's the fact that it's the way they play it. They trust, every player trusts the one next to them, that if I lose the ball, we're going to win it back. And we're only ever going to play as deep as Fernandinho plays. And a lot of teams would say, well, then he sits right in front of the back four. He doesn't. He pushes up. And as high as he pushes up is only ever as deep as Man City drop. And I think that's phenomenal trust in each other's ability to play football.
I really hope that they go big with some signings this summer and it just wrecks the balance.
They won't, though.
They've bought very well. They have bought a lot, but they've bought very well.
They've bought for the future as well.
What they've needed.
Yeah.
Because I know that's one of the questions, isn't it? Is what have City done that changed what they did from last season? Well, last season the back four wasn't good enough. The keeper wasn't good enough, even though he bought a fair few of them, and they just went right, get rid.
The one I want to talk about actually is, I think, always an interesting one, because particularly as a Liverpool fan, you get a lot of the reaction around him. Raheem Sterling. Flav was keen to do a feature on Dele Alli, which is on the channel right now. If you've not checked out, about him being the most hated player in England. I actually disagree. I think it's Raheem Sterling. Why?
No, it's not Pogba.
Well, no, I know. Well, English, he's definitely hated. No, Sterling's definitely hated more than Pogba because he's got the whole weight of a national team behind him as well, I think.
I don't feel that.
Do you really not?
No. I think it might just be Liverpool fans. Truly, I don't see any hate. All
you see in the analysis in the last couple of weeks is all about him.
I don't really care.
It's all about his. Oh, he's not good enough. Look at his chance. I've seen it everywhere's a wash with this Sterling. Oh, look at him. He's a bottling, and all he is a tapping merchant.
Well,
and blah blah blah.
In the derby, he had a lot of chances that if he'd have put away, would have made the comeback for United impossible. But him as a false nine against the likes of Chris Smalling, especially English. Especially the likes of Southgate and stuff. I don't think they know how to get the best out of him. And I think Pep's actually probably shown him a way that you can get the best out of someone like Sterling now.
I think he's a tremendous player, and I hope he has a big summer for England as well.
What's happening in summer?
People are going over to Russia to get their heads kicked in.
Or I'm going fishing.
What does Pep need to turn them into Champions League winners? Because inevitably the questions are going to be asked.
Probably just time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Experience for the players that are getting there. Experience getting used to the system. He does need a plan B. He definitely needs to learn something, because Klopp's got his number. Jose's managed to find him out on one occasion recently. There are ways of playing, even Wigan showing you how you can soak it up and hit them on the break. You can definitely get into the channels behind them. If they can close that door, they're probably going to be unstoppable. I think it's just experience at the top level that they need then. I
think you'd argue that maybe they need just a little bit of luck. I mean, look, the fact is, if they get some referee decisions their way in the quarterfinals, they're in the semis and not Liverpool.
The thing that we've seen the last couple of weeks is they haven't liked being sort of shaken from their pedestal, and they haven't reacted to it very well at all. I think we've seen this with Pep Guardiola the last few years, especially when he was in Bayern Munich. He was getting the season won by March, and then it was almost like, well, what do we do now? And that's where he suffered in the Champions League. And I think there's a little bit of that this season. Yeah. When everything goes so well for you.
Do you think there's something in the culmination of winning everything at the last minute, the last day, on the last weekend? Because you're striving every single week. Training means something every single day. So
especially when he was at Bayern Munich, they'd getting it won, and then it was like, let's have a chill for a couple of weeks. And it was like, how do you get yourself back up for those games? Yeah. I think everything's gone so well for him, particularly this season, that when it came to the games against Liverpool, it was almost like, well, we'll be fine here. And then when they weren't fine, they just didn't know how to react to that situation. And I think that you can only get that experience from going through those nights.
I think transfer-wise, I still remain unconvinced about the personnel in defence. Maybe Laporte will step up big time next season. They've had time to bed him in and what have you.
I can't spend any more on defence.
Well, but you can. They can and they will. You know, there will be no shortage of funds to be spent. It's what happens for me. It's whether it's the last big hurrah for Company, Silva, Torre's defo going, and whether he finally moves Aguero on, because he's clearly not preference. If you move Aguero on, and you're putting all your faith in Gabriel Jesus, what else have you got? What else have they got? That's going to be the big question mark, I think, for that team.
Why did he have to move any of those players on?
You don't have to, but his company's not going to go anywhere. But he's 32 years old.
He's not going to go.
Silva's 32 years old. I mean, look, they're both younger than me, but it's fine. the point is, this is footy, and you're not going. And company physically is what company is. Anyway, yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. What do you think Man City need to do to make them not just Premier League champions, but Champions League winners as well? As know in the comments below. If you want to single out any players, if you think anything that's been said here is just wrong, plain simple wrong, it's probably come out of Ste mouth because he's massively bitter today. Understand?
Well, there's only going to be half a dozen blues in the comments, so who cares? I can deal with that.
They'll all be out celebrating, won't they?
Yeah, it is. But yeah, listen, drop a like on the video if you think Man City were deserving Premier League champions. We'll be back for Ask the Club later in the week. Subscribe to the Ball Street channel, subscribe to the lads present as well, and we shall see you there.